In other news, the debate was heated. At times, the spectators grew boisterous as a House subcommittee held a hearing today on whether to set up a commission to study paying reparations to the descendants of Americans who were enslaved. It was the first hearing on this issue in a dozen years, and it came on the anniversary of Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in the U.S. Ed O'Keefe has more on this.
This is a very important hearing. It is historic. It is urgent.
New Jersey Senator and presidential candidate Cory Booker spoke today in favor of paying reparations to the descendants of slaves.
We as a nation must address these persistent inequalities, or we will never fully achieve the strength and the possibility.
Supporters packed the hearing room, making their opinions known.
The reason for that, listen, wait a minute.
And they jammed the hallways outside.
I asked my boss for the day off to take care of family business, and I got on a plane in 2 days and flew to Washington, D.C. I'm quite excited.
The bill would not have the government start cutting checks to African Americans. It would merely establish a commission to discuss the idea.
Why should the federal government bear responsibility for economic and social damages to the descendants of the enslaved?
Because the federal government is complicit in it.
The concept of paying reparations dates back to post-Civil War, when the government promised, but never delivered, 40 acres and a mule to former slaves. Supporters also cite a range of racial inequities that long outlasted slavery. Typical black families have 1/10 the wealth of white families. Black women die in childbirth at higher rates than white women, and black men are incarcerated at higher rates than whites. But critics at the witness table, including Coleman Hughes, a descendant of slaves, testified that reparations would not address concerns about inequality.
Reparations, by definition, are only given to victims. So the moment you give me reparations, you've made me into a victim without my consent.
And most Republicans oppose reparations, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago for whom none of us currently living are responsible is a good idea.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, author of a groundbreaking story in support of reparations, shot back.
For a century after the Civil War, black people were subjected to a relentless campaign of terror, a campaign that extended well into the lifetime of Majority Leader McConnell.
Some studies estimate that paying for reparations could cost up to $6 trillion over several years. There's no reliable data on what Americans think about reparations overall, but a Pew Research Center study earlier this year found that 63% of respondents believe slavery still affects the position of black people in American society. Maurice?
Ed O'Keefe at the Capitol tonight. Thank you.